Dan Brown, head of Prosperity Corp. Welcome back. And we have a very special video for you today. Today is introducing not only a new executive team for the Effective Management Association, but a whole new movement that's about to take place. The Effective Management Association has two new executives. We have Ryan Reben. He is the executive director of the Effective Management Association for the United States. And then we also have Mary Murphy McCrink, and she's the new president. And we not only have both of them here to talk a little bit about themselves and the vision of the Effective Management Association, but we have Mr. Quentin Strube from Wise Eastern United States, who's been heading up this vision. And we're all collectively announcing a very special event that's been planned. And this event is special because of this. Not only are we going to have one of the best speakers that have ever existed in our sector, but that person is virtually going to be coming to you and anybody you'd like to introduce and disseminate this amazing administrative technology to. Something that I can only tell you has been a long time coming. And to tell you a little bit about it, I'm going to have the two new executives introduce themselves, and then Mr. Strube tell a little bit about the vision. So Ryan, why don't you take it away and tell people a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Dan. Life has changed for me pretty recently. I've been working with Mr. Strube for, what, sir, over a decade?
Easily.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I'm a career firefighter, but recently had some pretty massive changes and decided to just cash out my retirement and move down here to Tampa and really start my own gig. And then in doing so, Mr. Strube called me up and we were talking about the EMA and how he wants to really get it started. And he said, you know, I need someone at the top. He goes, I really need someone leading this. And I said, well, this is very serendipitous because I just so happen to have a whole bunch of free time and dedication and vision to get this thing rolling. So it just kind of came together. And I more than happily accepted the position of executive director for EMA for the US. And that wasn't too long ago. And since then, he and I have been plotting and planning, and a team has gone in underneath us and beside us and around us. Stats have already started to go up, and it's pretty amazing. I'll leave the future vision to Mr. Strube to explain, but I'm very happy to be here. A little bit about me is, like I said, I've been working with Mr. Strube for quite a while, over 10 years now. My specialty has been in training staff. Not so much owners or executives, but the staff underneath them and Hubbard management technology and how to implement it and use it in their day-to-day lives and help get the business running and flowing and flourishing and prospering. So I got quite a bit of experience with that and happy to be working with this team.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome. That's exciting. And, you know, I've been working with you and Jacqueline for, you know, a little bit now, and it's great. You know, Jacqueline's just really carried this thing on through, and I saw the baton handover, and really exciting to have you on. So Mary, tell me a little bit about you and your background, and yeah, take it over.
Okay, well, hi everybody. First of all, I'm really honored to take on this position of president as the EMA. It spoke to my heart immediately when Mr. Strube contacted me and we had a chance to discuss it. I'm actually a licensed business consultant. I've been working with small business owners and their staff for over 40 years now, applying Hubbard management technology and helping them expand, prosper, and really achieve their goals. And I felt personally like I'd like to take on a larger role in a way that could help more people. So I think that's pretty much says about me. I'm here to help, and you can contact me anytime. You'll have my contact information from Dan, and let me know what I can do to help you succeed.
Fantastic. Well, listen, I've known you for many years. We won't say how many because it'll date both of us, but
I think I gave it away with the 40 years.
Yeah, listen, 40 short years, right? So here's the thing. What I can tell everybody here is that, you know, you've got the 1-2 punch. When you have an executive director and you have a president, the president is the public-facing person there to take and make the rubber hit the road from the public's perspective and be the public interface. And Mary is that person. She has helped professional after professional over the years getting up the line, and so they're doing better in their, and not just in their business, but in their life. Mary is a specialist at that. So we have the right person at the helm for the president position. And Ryan, as executive director, is running the show. He's making that engine move. Okay. So you understand the relationship between an executive director and a president. The executive director is more internal and will be external, but is formulating and creating and making the organization, while the president is creating the external face and events and public contact and that sort of thing. If I have that right from the relationship. Guys, did I get that right?
Sounds spot on to me.
Okay, good. And then let's talk about this. So we've got an event coming up, and we're going virtual. And I want to talk about that in a second, but we have Mr. Quentin Strube here, who's been waiting patiently. And, he's kind of the top of everything here. But he said, listen, guys, this is for you. I'm just here to let everybody know that I'm behind this. And, but I have a few words. And Mr. Strube, maybe you could kind of give a little bit of the vision. You're the original creator of the Effective Management Association, as well as the Prosperity Corps, and as well as just about everything else that exists in WISE, outside of, what LRH personally laid out. But, probably the longest term staff member of WISE, I think, that exists to date, has been in charge of and over the creation of many consulting groups and such, and of course the purpose of WISE. So Mr. Strube, tell us a little bit about the EMA and the vision for the EMA.
Well, first of all, thanks for putting this on, Dan. And I'm really happy that we're able to introduce Ryan and Mary to the Prosperity Corps and the participants in the Prosperity Corps. I first want to say I feel that both have sort of downplayed their capabilities.
Totally, right?
I couldn't be happier to have these two people. I've been looking for these two people for quite a while. Ryan did not describe his passion for the admin tech, in particular, his passion for the org board. We've worked closely together on developing products and services that are going to probably change the sector. The thing I like about working with Ryan, he's very straight up LRH. And if I see something that I don't think is quite on point or on source, and I bring it up to him, he fixes it like that. So I really appreciate Ryan's passion for the admin tech, and I think he's bringing that to the EMA, and that's just going to be phenomenal. And then Mary is a legendary Scientologist. I mean, she just is. She's done
100%.
Her production record in terms of getting people on the bridge. Measures up to just about anybody, getting up the bridge. She's helped to open whole countries. She's a real powerhouse. So, and what a great, one of the hallmarks, I think, of WISE, if we think of any of the great groups that have impacted our movement, such as Sterling Management or MGE or Hollander or David Singer and his David Singer Consultants, it seems that there's always a duo, there's a team that has a complement of skills. And when that right formula has come together, it just goes. And I felt with Ryan and with Mary, we finally have those two terminals that are going to just take this concept. This concept has been rolling for a while. A bit of history. It is based on a WISE directive, WISE Order 30, referring to effective management centers. So while it is true that the Effective Management Association is something that we've created in the Eastern United States, and it's kind of unique to the Eastern United States, it is based on, very closely based on WISE direction from the mid-1990s. In fact, the name Effective Management was surveyed, and it is a name that has been closely surveyed and is resonating with people when we do tell them, about Effective Management Association, Effective Management Association training centers. It communicates very, very rapidly what we are and what we are doing. And so it's been a very fortuitous that we have this name. The problem with the name was that part of the history of WISE in the Eastern United States, we are the largest WISE membership in the world. And I can attribute it very closely to application of danger conditions, why organizations stay small. WISE in the Eastern United States has always been built on smaller groups. I mean, just in terms of the reference, LH says a large organization is composed of groups, a small organization is composed of individuals. So we have, since the very beginning, we've always been working with the membership on the basis of forming local chapters. What we've had difficulty with is the name. I mean, we've had different kinds of names. You have Business Expansion Club, you've had WISE associations, WISE chapters, you name it. We did our own analysis from WISE East US and determined that the problem with the word center is that it communicates a location where people would come to and doesn't really communicate an association, which in fact, WISE Order 30 does communicate this is an association of WISE members. So we CSW'd for and got approval for the name Effective Management Association. We changed one word, we created a logo for it, and this became, about 3 years ago or so, the names of our WISE chapters. So an EMA is an association, a local association of WISE members, and I want to make sure that's really clear that everybody understands that. So if you have an EMA in Washington, D.C., or an EMA in San Francisco, it is a group of WISE members that have come together really for two purposes. And it's important that when you think about the EMA, you consider that it has these two purposes, because in our experience in building WISE to over 2,000 members in the Eastern United States, when you take one of these purposes out and just roll with the other, it won't work. It just won't work, okay? I can offer you ideas I might have as to why that is, but I can just tell you it does not work, okay? The two purposes, I'm just going to read them to you here. One is to help WISE members succeed through education and implementation of the harbor management system. So the EMA is there for the members, okay, very much so. And we mainly achieve that through a campaign called the Model of Admin Know-How campaign, which I'm sure most of your Prosperity Core team know what that is. So the EMAs are designed to help the members get through the Model of Admin Know-How and become very successful and models of the technology themselves. But the other purpose is to give the WISE membership the opportunity and means to successfully disseminate the harbor management system to new public. If you attempt to disseminate to new public from a base of WISE members who are not themselves successful, it doesn't really work very well. It would be similar to probably trying to disseminate Scientology in an area where you do not have winning students and pre-clears. You probably wouldn't expect a tremendous amount of dissemination in such a situation. So we run into that with WISE as well. On the other hand, if a member is winning, he won't stop talking about the admin tech, okay? He won't stop. You really couldn't stop him. But he still needs the opportunity, and he still needs the vehicle by which he can disseminate, which brings us to another excuse me, thing that we discovered through our own evaluations and analysis of the situation and expansion for WISE in the East US. We have yet to find a member who doesn't want to disseminate, okay? I could ask a member, do you want to disseminate? They're not going to say, no, I want to keep the admin tech all to myself. Like, you know, in fact, I want everybody around me to lose, you know, so that I can win. No one has said that to me so far. I'm not saying people like that don't exist. I'm just saying they're not in my membership, okay? But there are two things that are really missing. And this doesn't just go, I don't think, for dissemination in WISE. I think it goes for dissemination anywhere. It goes for anything anywhere. In order to achieve a product, you have to be hatted. I don't care what the product is. Like, I think part of the reason why we don't spend more time hatting our public in the field, whether it's field auditors, WISE consultants, schools, you know, there's, you know, how many solutions do we have to offer the public? And those solutions will arrive at the public through our public. They're not gonna, we're not clearing a planet within four walls, okay? The planet's out there. So we have to launch our public, our auditors, our clears into communities and into the society and get them to apply HCO Bulletin, what we expect of a Scientologist, HCOPL dissemination drill. There's a ton of data from LRH on what they're supposed to be doing, but they're not gonna learn it unless they're educated in it. No one will, okay? And this is one of the factors, you know, we must educate. If we want our members, WISE members, to disseminate, we must educate them so they know what to do. And the second factor is we have to give them the opportunity to disseminate. We have to present them with an opportunity. When we were, I'm in New York, when we launched after 9/11 and we opened the Ideal Org and we launched the New York book sales pattern, people came from all over the country to learn how to sell books using the book pattern, right, that we developed in New York. It was incredible. There were hundreds of Scientologists coming through here. And while some of them went a little bit white, you know, at the idea of going out there and manning one of these tables, everybody was happy to do it, everybody. And when they learned it, they loved it. But we didn't just have them, we gave them the opportunity to go sit at this table, okay? Somebody's gonna be body routed into this chair and you're gonna do a stress test on them and you're gonna sell them a book. And, you know, the wins, you know, people, you'd think they would have attested to an OT level just to hear them talk about the fun they were having with dissemination. And dissemination is fun, but you have to hat them and you have to give them the opportunity. So the opportunity for implementing the Hubbard management, the first purpose of the EMA, Effective Management Association, has been achieved mostly through the weekly meetings. We call them effective management meetings, and they're occurring all over the Eastern United States. And we now have EMAs forming in India. We have EMAs in the UK. We have EMAs all over West US. We have them in Canada. Winnipeg just started one, I believe, or they're about to. South America, it's like we're obviously onto something if people are spontaneously starting these groups. But where we have probably been less successful, and that's relative, and I'll tell you why I say that in a minute, it has been the second purpose of dissemination. The intention was WISE as a dissemination force, and no one can deny the impact of WISE as the dissemination sector. It's been acknowledged, it's been thoroughly acknowledged as a very powerful, very successful dissemination sector. But it was built on the back of public speaking. WISE was built on the back of public speaking. And I can speak with some experience on this. MG has fabulous speakers. Sterling has fabulous speakers. Singer is an incredible speaker. So the idea of putting entrepreneurial type public in front of an effective, charismatic speaker who's using the basic principles of Scientology communication technology and so forth, you just can't beat it. You just can't. And people will basically step up in droves and get onto minimally Hubbard management services, but also, and very often they go all the way onto the bridge. About 50% has been my experience will eventually end up taking Scientology services if the admin tech is delivered well. So the intention was for the local EMA chapters to set up monthly seminars for the members, but also for their guests. And the idea was we would formulate these, we would structure these, we would teach them how to disseminate, we would teach them how to bring their friends to these seminars, make the cost point such that it would be easy to sell the tickets for that, have them in nice venues, drill the speakers. We even assembled probably something on the order of 60 speakers, incredible speakers from all over the United States who are willing and volunteering to fly to Keokuk and do a seminar if you put 30 people together. This kind of expansion was all in the offing. And we started implementing this, and our stats went in the Eastern United States of clients to orgs from an average range for the Eastern United States of 20 to 30 to over 140 and 150 within about 3 months. So we were on a winning formula here. We, you know, even though it was creaky and it really wasn't as polished as we would have liked to, and even though a small EMA, maybe of 3 or 4 members, was having a hard time putting together a group of 30 guys to fly out, you know, Pat Clouden or Louis Cologne or Patrick Valten, you know, but so it had its limitations, it had its challenges. Anyway, along comes COVID-19, which has forced all of us to really reconsider what we're doing. And, you know, our war cry when this started in WISE and throughout Scientology was, if emotion comes in, use it and win. If emotion you won't use, you will lose. And I took it upon myself, my office, Bronwyn, who you saw walking behind me, and we decided we were going to figure out how we were going to leverage this situation so that we would end up with expansion. We double up the podcasts. Those have been extremely popular. We have always had webinars every 2 weeks. Those continued. But we switched all the membership meetings to virtual meetings, and our attendance quadrupled. We're now 4 to 5 times the number of members are participating in effective management meetings now in the East US than there were before COVID-19. So, wow, okay, we're on to something. And then, so that was helping to replace Purpose 1, but Purpose 2 was not after we had started so well and we were rolling along, had stalled, and we were kind of going, well, when this is over, we'll start the seminars again. Well, it ain't over yet, and I don't know when it's going to be over, but finally the inspiration hit me. Actually, I was watching Patrick Valtan deliver an expanded EMA meeting to about 68 people. And he said, yeah, I just did a seminar for 1,000 people in Africa or something. I don't remember where it was. And I was like, what have I been thinking, So while this is all going on, I'm recruiting Ryan and Mary, and they're blowing my mind with their creativity and their enthusiasm. And I come to them and I say, look, instead of I have 25 chapters of the EMA in the Eastern United States, and now there's new ones growing up all over the world that I can't really monitor very well. But why don't we, instead of trying to do 25 seminars a month, why don't we do one let's not even call it a webinar. Let's call it a virtual conference. Let's call it a V conference. Let's give it some cachet and let's create something. And all the EMAs can combine, whether it's a 3-man EMA or a 30-man EMA or a 100-man EMA, everyone can participate and get people to a perfect, mind-blowing 2-hour may have to edit that part out, Dan, presentation from our top speakers, because
we all know what you mean. Yeah,
What's that?
The top guns. The top guns. We all know what you mean. The top guns, the heavies, the celebrities that have carried, LRH management tech, the hybrid management system, into top corporations all over the world. That's and right. Are paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to do so, and they're right in our backyard, willing to volunteer and be part of this.
They've all had their hands up for a while, saying, Mr. Cotta, we're in. We want to do this, and we've been slow on the gun, to be honest, and now that's debugged. We have the first of these and this is the announcement that Dan was referring to for the listeners, is going to be on the 4th of June, which is a couple of weeks away. Likely that the EMA V conferences, remember, virtual conference, will be the first Thursday of every month. That could change. It's not been finalized. But this is rolling forward, and we're very fortunate. I mean, probably, well, first of all, one of my best and most loyal friends and a speaker I will always pay to see, and that's Mr. Patrick Valtan, has volunteered to do the first presentation on something that's going to be very important to people come the 4th of June, which is how do you rebuild your team after COVID-19? And there is nobody in the sector who is more knowledgeable on recruiting, hiring, keeping your employees and building a team than Patrick Valtan. And so he's going to be doing this seminar on the 4th of June. It's our first V conference. It's going to be emceed by Ryan and Mary. So it's very much the EMA US product. So jumping back one quick second, EMA US has now been formed as the headquarters for the EMA internationally, basically. I mean, we're calling it EMA US, but really, we already have chapters starting all over the country. And obviously, this is a field activity, and it is being monitored by another field activity called EMA US, fully licensed by WISE, fully monitored by WISE. They are a nonprofit group. All the companies are nonprofits. So with the support of Ryan and Mary, this dynamic team that we now have for EMA US, we're not only going to be able to pull off a fantastic presentation on the 4th of June under their auspices and under my direction also. We are also putting together a package of services for the raw public. Remember, our purpose is to disseminate now. So we can bring, all the members are going to be counted on to bring their friends. Like what do you got to do? Go to their living room and turn on your computer screen. Like it's not, they don't have to bring them anywhere. They just got to make sure they tune in. So they'll be able to, hopefully, well, we're expecting the members will be able to galvanize this attendance. We would like to have 1,000 people at our first one. I know it's 2 weeks away, but we're a bit crazy, and you got to be crazy to do what we're doing anyhow. We all know that. So we're going for that kind of impact. We're going to be doing these every month. I think the attendance is going to climb into the thousands. I think we're going to start approaching dissemination on the correct order of magnitude and quickly, because we're taking all the time and space out of it. And but we are also, EMA US, the necessity for EMA US is not just to coordinate all this type of activity, but to then provide benefits for the non-Scientologist public, the raw public that are attending. They're going to go, I want the admin tech. This is awesome. What do I do next? And we go, don't know, actually. Well, we do know now. We are producing, when the members see this, and the members are going to benefit too, because they're going to get the same benefits that their guests are getting, but at a significant discount, like 50% discount because of their membership. They're going to get the same benefits that the non-Scientologists are going to be getting when they attend these things. But I can't wait to show you these. You'll find out all about them by the 4th of June. Anybody who's watching, you should watch for that, because these are going to help you rebuild your team if you need to, and boom your business, no question, from these services that EMA US is putting together. I'm not going to.
If I can just say this follows 100% in the same direction that I think we saw at MGE. So at MGE, we pivoted when COVID-19 hit, and we said, oh my gosh, we're a seminar workshop based, course room based company. That was out. So we immediately set up 2 studios. We got this all set up to export to people, and we let our clients know, hey, listen, this is what's happening. We're going to go ahead and do some live streams. And it was a little bit rocky at first because we were getting used to equipment and talking to, 2 cameras in a room that was 7,000 square feet. But we pivoted. And as a result, we not only 2X'd, we not only 3X'd, we ended up having a seminar, one of our normal seminars, which is our ABC Sales and Communication Seminar, which is, our kind of our big ones, about 400 people. We had over 2,000 views on that one. So you're reaching people at different places, at different times, and powerful content, and boy, is it time sensitive. So I can't think with a better move on the part of the EMA. And one thing we also saw at MGE is you're taking this individual, and that individual knows other individuals like that individual, and is going to say, hey, you got to jump on this too. And they can do it from their phone. They can do it from their iPad. They can do it from their office. They can do it from their home. So I think this is big. I think it's really big. Not only are we going to apply this in the same fashion that we do with all these top-notch speakers, but we're going to survey and find out what else is needed and apply the same technology that we all know. And I don't think any delivery group in the world will be able to touch what we'll be able to do. So it's super exciting.
That's awesome. Yeah. EMA US is going to be a channel, a conduit of all the best Hubbard management-based services and products that anybody's ever seen. I'm just telling you that right now. It is going to be it is already mind-blowing. Like what we have available already is mind-blowing, and is something that the members have needed desperately. But the average entrepreneur out there, he needs this stuff. They want to have a life. They need our technology. And we need to bring ethics and sanity to this society. I mean, come on. How much crazier does it have to get? So anyway, I'm super glad we have Ryan and Mary at the helm for EMA US. They're putting together, as I say, incredible services for these public. and for the members. And I'm really excited to get this thing launched on the 4th of June.
It's awesome. Ryan, I'm really glad you're there. You know, you and I have had long discussions about your passion about the ORB board and exporting the tech and standardizing it and knowing that there is a single source and it's not you or I, and what the future is. Do you want to let anybody know some of the previews of what the future holds?
Yeah, so that is my passion. You're absolutely right about that. But there's one little thing that I would add to it, and that'll be my addition. And the little mystery is standardized, one source, but also easy. And I think Mr. Strube would agree that with what we're going to roll out and the services that are going to be available, completely standard tech made absolutely user-friendly.
Easy, exactly. Very easy. That's a big hallmark. And particularly for the members, not expensive either. So I think those are the qualities you correctly attributed to
I think it's awesome. And I think it's such a button because there's, you know, I kind of know a little bit about what's coming. So, but when you talk about a platform where I can get my company organized, statusized, tracked, and do so easily, you know, listen, I'm a specialist in this, and Joe is a specialist in this, and Mary's a specialist in that, and we're good at what we do, but sometimes we're not necessarily so clever on integrating systems and platforms and stuff. So super duper excited about that. Hey, Mary, before we end this thing, I want to ask you a question.
Sure.
If you can think of the number of people that have come to you in a completely, I mean, they are ruined. They are in disaster state. They're, you know, whether it's, you know, business, spiritually, almost physically, the number of people that have come to you and you've done your magic and worked with this tech and then set them on their way. What would you say is kind of a number, round number of the number of people that, you know, number of Humpty Dumptys that you've put back together again?
Oh, man. Yeah, 50. I mean, it's in the thousands.
It's in the thousands. I know for a fact. I know for a fact. When
I would say like 15,000. I mean, I'm just guessing, honestly. Maybe not that many. If we wanted to take a break for a minute, I could actually give you an honest answer.
That's right. But here's why I'm asking this, or why I'm bringing this up. The point is we're going to have a bunch of people come in, and what's going to happen is they're going to go, my gosh, this guy's amazing. I had to pay what, $50, $100 to see this guy for 2 hours. I'll do this all day long. That guy's going to see, you know, the next speaker and the next speaker. And they say, well, this guy Hubbard, he's got it going on. Where can I find out more? Or listen, this is all good, but listen, my marriage is falling apart. Or, you know, this is good, but I need help over here. And I just want to make sure everybody knows Mary is a person who, whatever the circumstances, whether the person's winning and soaring and they just need to like put together their dream team to go on to the next, you know, level of success, or that person is struggling. Mary has dealt with everybody from A to Z on that scale. So between Ryan and Mary, organizing, exporting tech, compilations, new things that are going to be coming out based off what the members and non-members, the people that are new to this, to say, hey, listen, I need this and I need that. This is all going to be available through the EMA. So I just want to make sure everybody understands the power of this announcement and the power of who we have here.
That's
awesome.
Good. That's good. I also want to say one other thing.
Yeah.
Sorry. Because we neglected, none of us have mentioned this, but it might interest the group listening that the value of the V conferences has been established as $60. However, because of the current circumstances and the fact that many of the economies in many countries in the world is being rebuilt, we are actually waiving the fee. But it is a $60 value, and members will be able to attend for free. Their guests will be able to attend for free. So they should definitely take the opportunity. Now, with that $60 value, the attendees will also receive a business analysis from EMA. So the flow will be, they'll get this incredible seminar from Patrick with all drilling and handouts and all that. That is a world-class presentation. And then on top of that, they'll be scheduled. They'll actually probably fill out they've got a 100-question questionnaire that they have to fill out for part of their analysis. And they will be followed up with. And if you have a friend or an associate, any of the listeners here, if you have a friend or an associate that you've been wanting to introduce to Hubbard Management, you will never get a better opportunity than this one. Okay, you cannot miss. Patrick Valtanen is an incredible speaker. I would be willing to bet that almost everybody listening has heard Patrick speak and they know how outstanding he is. And people at the end are going to be reaching for more information. How can they get Hubbard Management into their lives, into their businesses? And with the business analysis, it's actually a business analysis formulated by a very dear friend who's no longer with us, Mr. Klaus Hilgers. It's the Epic Business Analysis. Incredibly effective at getting people on service. It's been used by wise consulting groups all over the world for decades. And my guys are becoming expert in doing the evaluation, and I'm training them myself. And these guys will be handled, and they will be gotten into a service zone online. All these benefits are online, and they will be disseminated to, and they will win. And so I just would like to reiterate for every listener, attend and bring at least one person you care about, one other associate. Our movement has been significantly bolstered by a certain public. That's the small business owner. Look at your own friends, okay? It's not necessarily the big corporate guys. We have some of those, but look in any HGC, in any organization, anywhere from Flag, Freewinds, any Class 5 org, any advanced org, you're gonna meet entrepreneurs. They have been a significant influence for good in our movement. And they're great disseminators. They, of course, help to purchase our idol org buildings and many other things, protect our religion. There's a tremendous amount that they've done for us. We need to expand that group. And that is what EMA is really all about. It's about servicing the members, but also about expanding our group. So that said, please welcome my two new executives, Mary and Ryan, and EMA US. And Dan, thank you very much for this opportunity for us to present ourselves.
Great, great. Well, guys, it's exciting times. You know, I think on that last note, you just mentioned, Mr. Strube, you know, when you talk about the effect these individuals who've come in on the business line and the effect they've created the group, you know, that's because these were individuals that were able.
That's right.
And we're making the able even more able. And right now, people need help. There's a lot of instability out there. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of messages out there. And right now, these individuals, these able and potentially very able people, they need our help. They need stable data in the midst of these confusions. So let's take responsibility to get that help into their hands. Let's take the link. We're going to put a link in here so you can register. Get that link around. It's free. The first one, this is a guy that people will pay, I mean, literally $20,000 to come do this presentation in their company. And you're going to see it, not for, even for $60 this time, you're going to see it for free. Let's get a sampling of this. Let's taste this. Let's see where this goes. Share that with your friends. Guys, I'm really honored to be able to host this Prosperity Core section. I think it's exciting. Ryan, Mary, Mr. Strube, your vision's coming true. And yeah, let's see what happens on this one, and we're gonna do our part from our perspective to make sure we get a bunch of people to this creation of yours. So thanks again for being here. From Prosperity Core, it's Dan Brown signing out, and between now and the next time, let's see what we've got to get some people to this. I definitely want to see you there. Let's see how many invites. In comments below, let us know what you think about this new idea. We'll see you next time.